too fast.
There's nobody over there, so.
I know, but, okay, can you see Miss Martha Ann?
Mm.
You see me?
You. And Miss Martha's.
Okay. Hang on. All right.
Okay. In my speech today, I was not sure what to talk about, so I decided to talk about the death penalty. What is the death penalty or capital punishment? It is the death as a punishment given by a court of law for serious crimes. There are many verses in the Bible that show us that the death penalty is acceptable in some cases. Genesis 9:6 says, "Whoever sheds man's blood, by man his blood shall be shed, for in the image of God he made man." There are many people who debate capital punishment because they think it's a crime itself. Today, I'll be telling you about why capital punishment is necessary in some situations. First, some criminals deserve the death penalty because of their horrendous crimes. These criminals are also wasting taxpayers' dollars, and the death penalty can also deter crimes. Most criminals that are on death row deserve capital punishment. Most crimes that are committed do not warrant the death penalty, but there is one major crime that can. Capital punishment is only considered when the crime is murder. Murder is arguably the most severe crime that can be committed, and 31 out of 50 states agree. Murder has been one of the most serious crimes reaching back to the oldest known civilizations. Many historic groups use the death penalty for murders because that is the punishment that the criminal deserves. That still holds true today. If murderers were not deserving of the death penalty, then that method of punishment would have been removed from judicial systems long ago. The bottom line is that murderers should not be allowed to live out the rest of their lives whether they are incarcerated or not. These criminals are using taxpayers' dollars. Next, I will talk about how much money is spent on United States correctional facilities and inmates. The government takes taxes out of every worker's paycheck, but do you really know where your tax dollars are going? This may surprise you. The United States only has around 5% of the world's population, yet we have 25% of the world's inmate population. So that translates to somewhere from 1.4 to 2 million people in prison. As a nation, taxpayers pay approximately $39 billion each year to fund correctional facilities, which is $5.4 billion over the budget that the U.S. government gives these facilities. If you break that down even further, the average payment for a United States taxpayer is $31,286 each year. Long story short, a large portion of our tax dollars go to correctional facilities and inmate upkeep. If the death penalty were utilized more for prisoners who had committed murder and were sentenced to life in prison, our tax dollars would not be wasted on feeding and sheltering those who have committed the act of murder. Sometimes, actually using the death penalty can deter crimes. Lastly, I will tell you about the effects that the death penalty has on homicide rates. As I stated earlier, 31 out of the 50 United States allow the death penalty. And for the most part, these 31 states have lower homicide rates. The death penalty is definitely a deterrent. New Hampshire is a state that incorporates the death penalty as a sentence for murderers. The results for New Hampshire are the lowest homicide rates in the United States at 1.1%. However, in Maryland, a state that has outlawed the death penalty, the homicide rate is lower than that of two other states. Maryland has a homicide rate of 8.6%. That is a 7.5% jump in homicide rates. If all states used the death penalty to punish murderers and used it as an example of what happens when murder is committed, then maybe homicide rates would drop across the United States as a whole. To wrap things up, there are many reasons why we should use the death penalty. It is necessary. These criminals deserve the death penalty. They use our taxpayer dollars, and it helps deter other people from committing crimes. Thank you for your time.